Namaste, sir.
Namaste.
We are privileged and extremely happy to have you with us on our Sri Paryavarana Utsav 2024.
Pleasure is all mine. It's indeed a great pleasure to be here.
So, we had a few questions to ask, if you.
Absolutely. Please go.
So, sir, my first question to you is, what inspired you to pursue a career in environmental conservation and sustainability?
Well, like many others, I didn't have a trigger, to be honest. It happened very organically in my life, and it all started right from my childhood days, much younger than your age, in fact. Class 6, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. That was my first encounter with a book on birds. I'm from Assam, and that book was written in Assamese. And that was lying in one of my aunt's bookshelves.
Okay.
And I accidentally opened the book and got stuck. And I would say got stuck. And my journey began from there. A journey of exploration into visitness started from there. I saw a pencil drawing, nest of a tailor bird. I got really curious. So I think that was the beginning.
Okay.
From there on, one after another, something or the other started to happen in my life. By the time I was in 10th, we had already registered an NGO along with my classmates.
Okay, yeah.
I think 8 of us. So that was in 1994, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. And from there on, of course, there are serious encounters. People, organizations, and one of the major incidents, if I don't mention, that will be my answer will be incomplete. It's about a bird called Zeta adjutant. It's a very tall, odd-looking bird. So there was a major conservation program which started in the 90s, and I got the opportunity to become one of the volunteers there. That was for the first time somebody thought of undertaking a conservation and rehabilitation project for adjutants. Now, of course, adjutants, there are a lot of conservationists and initiatives happening around adjutants, and it's quite a famous bird now.
Yeah.
But then, there were only two individuals working on it. So, I got a first-hand exposure to their work back in 90s. I think that was a major turning point for me. And of course, rest is, as they say,
That's awesome. Okay, so moving on to our next question. How do you see the role of technology and innovation in the future of environmental conservation?
It's very important. It's already making a lot of impact, positive impact, I would say. Especially for wildlife conservation and management. Monitoring has become easy, extremely easy. Whether it is to do with IoT-based interventions or for wildlife monitoring, all the cordless camera trapping devices, even use of drones these days. And AI is also coming into the play in making census of wildlife animals easy. So that is one. But there are plenty of other examples, of how things are becoming easy for people like us to keep a track on the wildlife movement, keep a track of how they're behaving, keep a track of because a lot of these animals are wanderers, right?
Yeah.
So, and unfortunately that leads to many a times unfortunate ends for them. So all that can be prevented, and more so, one of the major challenges across the world is the poaching.
Yeah.
So poaching also can be prevented to a large extent if we stick to and better utilize the technological innovations that we have. So the list is endless, but yeah. One simple answer is yes, it's making a lot of difference, and in the coming days, I am sure things are going to be even easier for us to do conversation with technological support.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That a thing such as technology and innovation is also helping in creating a positive impact for the environment. So my next question would be, can you talk about a project or initiative you are particularly proud of and why it is meaningful?
Uh, there are many, not just one. It will be unfair if I just pick one. But I would still go with one example, which about a project that I had the opportunity of leading, implementing, and not just implementing. In fact, um, right from planning and starting with the writing a proposal, raising funds, and then execution. So if you look at the entire life cycle, so this project that I had undertaken in very close to Delhi, in Haryana, is a place called Mindabad. Mindabad, I'm not sure if you have heard this place. It's a wetland. It's about half an hour's drive from Sultanpur Bird Sanctuary,
Okay.
right? So that is another very important bird habitat. It's an wetland, and it has also been recognized as a Ramsar site now. It's 2 years ago. It is one of the 85 Ramsar sites we have in the country. So there we decided to engage communities, work very closely with women, and give them a means of alternative livelihood so that they become a party to our conservation. And also what we were trying to do is this entire water body is infested by water hyacinth, which is an alien invasive species, right? And it's not good for the health of the ecosystem.
Okay.
Right? So we were training these women to use water hyacinth as the raw material for the handicraft they are going to make.
Oh.
Right? So that's why this project is very, very significant. And why it is memorable for me, because as we all understand, it's a gender-skewed community, right? And getting to convince women to come out of their homes and work with us in this particular project was not easy. But along the way, we have been able to do that very, very successfully in a very positive note. And not just women, all folks in the villages, the male members of their families, they came together to support us. And it so happens, when we started, these women were literally, they knew nothing about water hyacinth, they knew nothing about handicraft, they knew nothing about market, then they didn't have any financial literacy. But when we completed this project, they were completely, in true sense, empowered women.
Yeah.
They were able to produce their own product, sell it in Surajkund International Craft Mela.
Okay. Wow.
They were doing everything all by themselves. So that's why it makes it more special for me.
Wow. I actually never thought that, women empowerment and environment, can be connected to form such a beautiful thing.
Yes.
So, unfortunately, we move on to the last question, which is, how do you think students like me can contribute to environmental sustainability, both on a personal level and within our community?
I strongly feel every one of us are influencers in our own right. To become a positive influencer, you don't need a 1 million follower on your Instagram. Even if you can influence one person in a positive perspective, whether he or she is a friend, family member, or someone in your neighborhood, you can make a lot of difference. As they say, charity begins at home. If you are able to change your one habit, which is not good for the environment, and turn it into something positive by taking an action, and start influencing others, and by your own experience, and I think that is the beginning of a big change that we all have in this space, and that's how we can. From one individual, you can become an army of people who take positive action. So that's how it all happens, and it is very easy, especially when I look at my own life. Like I said, it all started with a book. Then we formed an NGO. Then it's been 25 years that I continue to work, continue to engage with people, continue to engage with communities like the communities in Haryana. So yeah, there are examples, and you can begin by doing your bit first, and then before you tell someone else, you'll have to start at your own self.
Doing small changes.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much, sir, for answering all my questions so patiently.
Thank you so much. Pleasure is all mine.